video presents a brief introduction to evaluating sources for research. In the past, information itself could be scarce and hard to find, whatever you were looking for. But today there's so much available information that sometimes the biggest hurdle isn't even finding sources, but to finding quality and good sources. You should never accept and use a source for your research without looking at it carefully and evaluating several major elements. This is important because not all information is created equal. Anyone can post information on the internet, regardless of their actual knowledge of a subject. While books and articles usually go through a more rigorous process of publication, this can still vary greatly from publisher to company, etc. In the end, you cannot really trust a source until you look at it closely and evaluate it. So how do you know when to trust a source, and how can you determine its reliability and usefulness for your research? Ask yourself, is your information CRAAP? CRAAP is an acronym that stands for currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, and purpose. If you consider all of the elements of the CRAAP test, you will have evaluated the most important parts of any source. Currency refers to the date. When was the material published or written? Was it revised? Remember that if it is a published book or article, the bulk of the material was probably researched and written at least a year or two before the publication date. Is the information out of date? Think about your topic. How old can the information be and still be useful for your research? The next is relevancy. Does this source help me with my project? Does it answer all parts of my question, or offer some new information? Make sure to look at the sources closely enough to ensure they are on track with your topic and don't just use some of the same key terms. Authority. Who actually wrote or authored the work? Is it an individual, a group, an organization? What gives them the authority and the knowledge to speak on this topic? Are they an expert in this field? Do they have an advanced degree? What are their credentials and can you find them out? What else have they written? Do you know who published the work? Is the source from a reputable publisher or journal? What about contact information? Would you be able to contact the author or organization if you wanted to? Also look at the tone of the work. Is it written professionally and free of errors like grammar and spelling? Is it written in a way that's logical, or is it emotional? For accuracy, look at the actual content. First of all, what is it? Is it original research? Is it personal opinion, interviews, the results of a study? If it is the result of research or some sort of study, does the author explain their methodology? How did they find this information? Are you able to see the results? Does the source have a bibliography listed? What kind of sources do they have? Do these appear to be reputable? Can you actually find them? Think about the information itself. Does it seem to match up with other things you've read in the field, or does it seem suspicious or off? Ultimately, is it correct and verifiable? And finally, purpose. Why was the source written? Always ask this question. Was it to inform, persuade, entertain, make money? Why the source was written will always affect the content of the source itself. If money is involved, be especially careful. What would the author or publisher have to gain from this? What kind of hidden agenda might there be? What were their goals in creating it, and who was the intended audience? Everyone has some sort of agenda or goals when producing something. It's just important to know what that is and how these factors may have influenced the end result. Considering all of these factors in the CRAAP test will help ensure that you are picking the best and most trustworthy resources. Never assume that a source is reliable and accurate until you have looked at it closely and evaluated it thoughtfully.